Hey guys, welcome back to my video here. This is Page of Fame. This is another video. I'm so sorry that it took so long for this to come out. It should have came out earlier, but unfortunately it didn't. But we're doing this now, so this is going to be the video about top 5 running backs. Now, as you guys can see on the left-hand side, this is NFL Draft Buzz's list. This is not my list. This is actually far from my list. This actually doesn't represent my list at all. So this is the top 5. Oops. That's really tiny print, but it's top 5 running backs. This is definitely top 5 running backs. Wow. All right. So we're gonna start off. Actually, you start off with number 5. I'm gonna start off with number 5. So my number 5, personally, and I know you guys can see the list here. Their number 5 is 1, 2, 3. I think they have it out of order. Yeah, it's James Cook. Seems to be their number 5 because they're all tied. So 5, 6, 7, 7. Not mine. My number 5 guy is Jerome Ford out of Cincinnati. Reason why I love Jerome Ford is, and you guys can see it here when I pull it up, he is fun. He is great, and I'm going to show you his combine stats that prove it. From Tampa, Florida, went to the University of Cincinnati. So he redshirted his freshman year, so that's why you see his 2018 stats be so low. 2019 is redshirt freshman year. He played a little bit. I think he was like the 3rd string, if I'm not wrong. So that's why you see 114 yards, not very many yards. You're not going to when you're the 3rd string. In 2020, he was the 2nd back, and that Cincinnati team was really, really good, led by a different running back than Jerome Ford that ended up going to the NFL themselves. But you guys can see here that Jerome Ford is definitely a big-time player in this. He is somebody that I think is going to make a big difference on a team. He's definitely within the first 3 rounds. Now, this is a really bad year for running backs. That is not no lie. Jerome Ford would be like my 10th running back if this was a really, really good running back draft. Unfortunately, this is very, very, very weak. You're looking at probably almost every running back being a 2nd back, except for maybe the top 2 or 3. So that's really kind of where we're at with this draft. Not very good for running backs. So my grade on him is mid to late 3rd round. I can see him going as early as late 2nd round to early 3rd round is my projection of where he's going to go. Personally, though, my grade on him is mid to late 3rd. Like I said, this is a bad running back class, but nonetheless, he is my number 5 running back. He does run with power, and he does run consistently well. Not a huge, great receiving threat, and you can kind of see that with his senior year numbers coming at 13, 19. Great touchdowns. Yardage kind of fluctuated with his receiving. Didn't get a lot of opportunities. That's something with Desmond Ridder you would have expected, even though he has great speed at 4.46. My number 4 guy, and you guys will have seen him previous to this, is Rashad White. So I'm going to go ahead and out of University of Arizona State. He is, I'm spelling his name wrong, but he is an absolute stud of a running back at times. Now, he's a little inconsistent. That's the only reason why I would put him as my 2nd running back. Now, Jerome Ford is like 2nd if you have a great running back, but if you really need to use 2 tailbacks heavily, I don't know if I'm using Jerome Ford heavily in that type of set. He's definitely a 400 to 700 guy, where Rashad White could burst onto the scene for 1,000, and you can see it here. Only real 2 years of really playing stats, even though he's a senior, didn't really do anything his first 2 years. So this last 2 years, he really came on strong for Arizona State and really showed his talent, being the number 2 running back in 2020 with 420 yards. But it's really 2021 where he exploded onto the scene. People are wondering if he's a one-hit wonder. I'm kind of wondering the same thing. I didn't see him coming, and nobody really did, and then he just burst onto the scene. So it was a little odd that he just would all of a sudden just hit the way it did. So for me, it was a little difficult rating him to me, but honestly, he is a top 5 running back in a weak draft class. I am very concerned if he's a one-hit wonder. Great speed, though. Great in receiving yards. You saw that 456 yards. That's actually pretty good. He was used pretty well this past year. I would say he wasn't heavily used in the running game, but they used him enough in different odd spaces to where he can fit in an NFL offense pretty well and come in and grasp concepts. Number 3 guy, and you guys can see it here, is Isaiah. Nope. So you guys probably thought it was Isaiah Spiller. It's actually Damian Pierce. So that was a little bit of a oh shoot moment. Yeah, my boy from Florida University on this list. He got it going on. 4.59 40 time. He's not a burner. He's an absolute pounder, like Garrett Blount type running back. And I love those type of running backs, and that's what he is. His production isn't good at all. But again, what system that he played in under Dan Mullen runs a multiple set running back room. He never goes with just one guy. So that's why you're going to see his numbers not as good as other players. But he's actually the first running back where I could see where he could potentially break out and be number 1. He's my boom or bust prospect in Damian Pierce. He's either going to be a super solid second guy, or he's going to be a great workhorse back for 3 to 5 years. Lifespan is going to be long. I don't think that's hard for anybody to grasp. Not very good and you can see it here. Average yards for college level, so that needs to improve in the NFL. He needs to get around that 4.75 mark. Didn't get a whole lot of touches though, so that means his body's a little fresh. Is good. He has good weight at 5'10", 220. Absolute bruiser from Georgia. Really good at touchdowns and rush averages. You can see it there, but his hands aren't necessarily great. He does have concentration issues, and he definitely needs to get more reps at receiving the football. But he's an absolute boom guy or bust, meaning he's going to be a decent second guy for you. So my second guy is someone that everybody pretty much has as number 1 or number 2. I've seen it either way, but it is Breece Hall. He had a phenomenal year at Iowa State. He's had phenomenal years the past 2 years, so that was really nothing new, and you guys can see the stats there. He was a beast for them for 3 years, having 897 as freshman, and already had 186 carries, 897 yards, 9 touchdowns. He is a little different, though. I want to go ahead and mention that. He's a lot of wear and tear on his body. That really scares me. He's a guy who, at 6'1", 220, is big and has broad shoulders to carry a load, but his body could break down fast, being a running back, being that he's already been abused for 3 straight years, pretty much being the number 1 back for 3 years. So definitely something to watch out for NFL teams. He's definitely a guy, to me, who's your number 1 running back. You want him in your backfield running the football, and the good thing is he can catch. You can see the stats here: 36 receptions for 302 yards. He is pretty good out the backfield. Now, he's not a guy where you're going to keep dumping it off to, but he is good for that occasional dump off there, like that Patrick Mahomes to Clyde Edwards-Helaire dump off type of thing. Not really a Alvin Kamara type where you can keep using him in different formations and he can catch the football. That's not really Breece Hall's game. It's none of these running backs' games, actually, but him in particular. He can definitely run you over, but his best ability is his making you miss and his ability to get down the field in space. So he's very good at when you're coming off tackle instead of in between tackles. So he's better at the off tackles, but he's also pretty patient in terms of he can pick his spots in between tackles. So that's something that Breece Hall possesses that's really good. Like I said, it's a little bit of a weak draft. He would be typically my number 3 or 4 guy, but him being number 2 is very good for him. He's definitely going to get paid as such. I see him going early second round. Damian Pierce, I have him mid second round, and then I have Rashad at late second round. But number 1 guy isn't a guy you could draft at the end of the first round if you would like. I personally wouldn't draft any running back in this class, and it's really not close in terms of drafting one in the first round. I don't have any first round grades of any running backs, nor should they go in the first round, unfortunately. I have him very early second, but everybody knows who Kenneth Walker is. He was an absolute stud at running back this year. I think he won all the awards for a running back this year. He should have. He was better than Breece Hall to me. He also proved that he's the number 1 running back. He's absolutely phenomenal. He also has a couple of years of experience in terms of, you can see here. He was number 1/number 2 on 2020. So that's a little bit concerning numbers if you see that he went from 579 to all of a sudden 1636. But there was another running back that he was constantly competing with, so every other start he was getting. So that's not very consistent. This past year he had consistency, and he absolutely blew up. He is nothing. That's the one thing I don't like about him, to be honest with you. His receptions are awful. He's almost useless in the throwing game. That's something that's really concerning to me, especially nowadays where you see the running back go out routes and be the quick dump off. For him not to be that at all, to be honest, his hands are like stone. They're not very good. He drops balls. He's just not that guy. And also the Michigan State didn't really use him that guy. I think because they understood that he doesn't have that. Mel Tucker saw that he's a downhill runner. He's somebody who can pound you, punish you, can run really fast. 4.3, that was absolutely phenomenal. He doesn't play 4.3. I can tell you that right now. He runs like he's like 4.9, 4.47 at best. But 4.38 is phenomenal. I want to see him get right with that in terms of play that fast. You play that fast, I guarantee you NFL teams are going to be infatuated with you and wish they took you in the first round. Those are the concerns I really have, and also the 1 year wonder factor. He had too big of a jump that is concerning, but he is an absolute number 1 running back. He can definitely man your running back room. I would not be afraid to take him within the first 4 picks of the second round. First 4 selections of the second round. He's an absolute phenomenal talent. Great running back. Definitely somebody I could see be featured in your offense. Just don't expect him to be anything within the passing game. He does do a pretty good job of blocking, but again, that doesn't help you when you need him to catch the football. Everybody would rather have Breece Hall. I think that's why a lot of people have Breece Hall number 1. It's because his ability to catch the football is very high, whereas Kenneth Walker is a non-factor. So that does limit you in terms of dimensions. You're not really a 3-down back then at that point. I don't want to use you for 1 and first and second down. But hey, if you're very effective in first and second down, who needs third downs? So as you can see that there. But as you can see, that is my list for top 5 running backs in the NFL draft 2022. I am going to detail to you guys now that there are going to be more videos. Like I said, I am going to do more positions. The next position that's going to be up is the quarterbacks. So don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you can. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.